Barakathan Yahweh, Barakathan Yahweh Shai, Barakathan Yahweh, Barakathan Yahweh Shai. Call Allah Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. We like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, who the world calls God, and Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. I'm Brother Aaron from Israel Gathering Together, Ghana. So I'd like to give double honors to all the apostles, prophets, elders, leaders, teachers of Israel who come before me. Double honors to my brothers in Cincinnati, Israel Gathering Together in Cincinnati, Brother Yohanatan and the rest of the brothers there. And to all the sisters in Israel Gathering Together as well, who's holding down the households and keeping things while the husbands are at war out here teaching in the highways and hedges every Sabbath or any other day we want to decide to do it during the week when the Spirit comes upon us. All right, so I'm Brother Aaron again of Israel Gathering Together Ghana, and today we're going to talk about a class. The class is titled Reality versus Lies. Reality versus lies. Y'all write that down, reality versus lies. So there's a lot of lies that we've been taught as a people, as a nation of Israel, coming out of slavery. Been taught a whole lot of things that have been lies. We're going to kind of contrast and go through some of those and see if what the Bible say compared to what we've been taught, i.e. the Christian church, Muslim mosque, Buddha, whatever other nation that has their religions that taught us certain things about the world and our life. We're going to contrast it with the Holy Bible and see if these things are true. All right, this book here is the Apocrypha, which I always speak about. These are 14 books that were removed around the 1700s by the Protestant church, which are so-called white people. They removed it because this is the actual Greek captivity. So in your normal 1611 King James version that you get today out of the stores, they have the Apocrypha removed. But the original 1611 King James version has the Apocrypha inside of it. So we're going to read out of this because this is part of the Bible. The Bible contains 80 books, not 66. All right? So let me get a reader. Read for me. Let's get John chapter 8. No, you know what? Go to Isaiah 28, verse 9. The book of Isaiah chapter 28, verse 9. So today's class again is reality versus lies. The book of Isaiah chapter 28, verse 9. Read it strong too.
Isaiah chapter 28, verse 9.
Everybody's going to be reading today, okay? Come.
Whom shall ye teach knowledge, and whom shall ye make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast.
Yeah, the Most High said He's going to teach doctrine to those that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. So when you come into this truth, you come into the knowledge of knowing who you are and who the Most High God is and His Son, you got to be like a newborn baby. Meaning all the philosophies and vain deceit that you were taught out in the world, you got to put that to the side and relearn as a newborn baby. That's difficult for a lot of our people, you understand? Because of their statuses in this world. But if you humble yourself in the spirit and really call out to Mashiach Yahweh, who the word we call Jesus Christ and His Father Yahweh, then you're gonna be like a newborn baby. You're gonna come in brand new. You're gonna put all that philosophy to the side and do it and learn what the scriptures say. It's kind of what we're gonna go over today. Read on.
For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line. Here a little, there a little.
You hear that? Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. So if you're a Christian, mainly to you brothers and sisters here in Ghana where I'm at, and you're watching this video, as I've stated in other videos, you may see me jumping from Genesis to Revelations to the Apocrypha, back to Genesis, back to the small prophets. You're like, wow, he's all over the Bible. Why? Because that's the way I was taught by my leaders and my elders. And that's the way the Bible has told us, that's how Christ told us to teach here in Isaiah. Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. That is how you get the secrets of the Bible. All right, let's start out with this. Get Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 6. Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17, verse 6.
Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 6. At the mouth of two witnesses, at the mouth of two witnesses, or three witnesses, shall he that is worthy of death be put to death.
That he that is worthy of what?
Death be put to death. But at the mouth of one witness, he shall not be put to death.
He shall what?
He shall not be put to death.
So you hear that? The Bible is saying if you got 2 or 3 witnesses, that establishes guilt or innocence. You understand? But if you got 1 witness, that's no guilt or innocence established. But what do you see in Babylon, aka one front? You can have 1 white woman say 5 black men raped her. They're all in jail for 80 years. Where's her witnesses at? You know these people are not the people of the Bible. They're not God's people, because if they were God's people, they'll be keeping God's commandments. God said at the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses. And also, this is a double meaning. It's also for the scriptures. If you have 1 precept, you got to have another precept to back that up. You got to have another witness. That's a witness. So if I say the truth, we talking about the truth then in John 8:32. Then you go to Psalms 119, verse 142. That explains the truth. Or John 17:17. Or John 14:6. You understand? The truth. You got to have witnesses. So you know they don't have no witnesses. Forgive me if I get a little excited today. All right, it's been a long time. I didn't get to teach last Saturday. All right, let's get Deuteronomy 19:6 now. Deuteronomy 19:6.
Deuteronomy chapter 19, verse 6. Lest the avenger of the blood pursue the slayer, while his heart is hot.
Slack it. Knock that. Skip that scripture.
Verse 15.
Yes.
Deuteronomy chapter 19, verse 15. One witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity, or for any sin, in any sin that he is sinning.
Come on.
At the mouth of 2 witnesses.
How many witnesses?
2 witnesses, or at the mouth of 3 witnesses, shall the matter be established.
Now, did we just establish the matter? We just read it in Deuteronomy 17:6. So now we went to get another precept saying the exact same thing. So we have 1 witness right here. That's what we're doing when we keep doing precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. So as I say, if you're a Christian out of the Christian church, whether you be Presbyterian, Methodist, Baptist, a Pentecostal, whatever branch of religion that you're in, Christianity, ask yourself if the pastor is precept upon precept. You may be in church for 5 hours, you get 3 precepts. That's right, you get 3. Because he's hooping and hollering and telling you things out of his mouth. But today, we're going to establish every word out of the Bible. Precept upon precept. Let's get 2 Corinthians 13, verse 1. 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 1. And I'll let you guys read in a little bit. Just let's get this established.
2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 1.
Make sure everybody there first. So, just by me talking about witnesses, right? We know that the court system in America, aka Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon, you can go into court and be accused by a so-called white person, if you're an Israelite, meaning people of Negroid and Indian descent, and you 9 times out of 10 gonna get locked up. That's right, you're gonna get locked up with 1 witness. And in most instances, they don't even have any witnesses. They don't have no corroborating evidence. They just lock you up, man, because you are around the scene. So that's the curses that have been put upon our people to be placed in prison houses. What you got? Go ahead, read that. Call
it. 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 1.
Come on.
This is the 3rd time I'm coming to you. Mm-hmm. In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall every word be established.
Shall what?
Every word be established.
So we already know, God's people know that at the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word has to be established. That's any accusation. That's any thing that may be brought up against you. If you bring something up against someone else, you're going to have 2 or 3 witnesses to back it up. Point blank, or it's not going to be said. But in the system that we're in today, a woman can accuse a man of rape, right? Where is her witnesses at? We got men locked up in jail right now today, black men, so-called black men, from the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, Levi, that are in prison today, 40, 50 years. They come find out that they're innocent. 50 years later. What is 50 years of your life confined into a cell wall? Like a bathroom. You have to live there 50 years. And then they end up giving you like $50,000 when you get out. $50,000. So unrighteous and unjust decrees, the so-called white man, the nation of Esau, Edom, the red nation, they're going to have to pay double. And their ultimate end is extinction. Okay, so we're talking about reality versus lies. There will be no one witness established. You're going to have 2 or 3 when you want to establish witnesses out in the world and when we're speaking about this Bible. All right, so let's get Genesis 7, verse 1. Genesis chapter 7, verse 1. I'm not going to call the topic out. What we're going to do is we're just going to read the scriptures, and then I'm going to ask you questions and ask you what you think about it.
Genesis chapter 7, verse 1.
Come on.
And the Lord said unto Noah, Come down, and all thy house into the ark. For thee have I seen righteous before me in his generation. Of every clean beast.
Of what?
Of every clean beast, thou shalt take of thee by 7.
No, by 2.
7. The male and his female, and of beasts that are not clean by 2.
How many?
2. The male and his female, of fowls also of the air by 7. The male and the female, to keep seed alive upon the face of all the earth.
To do what?
To keep seed alive upon the face of all the earth.
Read on.
For yet 7 days, and I will cause it to rain upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and every living substance that I have made will I destroy from off the face of the earth. And Noah did according unto all that the Lord commanded him.
So right here, Sister Samara. That's right. That's how you say it, right? Sister Samara. You go to school. I know they teach you over here in school that the animals came in the ark. How did Noah get the animals in the ark? How many? You know, Kweku? 2 by 2, right? That's what they teach in church. The animals come into the ark 2 by 2. Is that what you learn?
Yes, can.
Is that what the Bible says?
No.
You see that? We debunking the myth. You can go to any Christian church, they're gonna tell you, most people, 99% of the people out here that's Christians think that Noah took the animals into the ark 2 by 2. But when you read the Bible, it does not say that. It says he took 7 of the clean beasts, 2 of the unclean beasts, 7 of the fowl, 2 of the unclean fowl. Why? What's that last part say there?
To keep seed alive upon the face of all the earth.
See that? To keep seed alive upon the face of the earth. So it wasn't 2 by 2. It was 7 by 2s. That's a myth that's been debunked already. You understand? Not 2 by 2. But you watch these Christian movies and shows where Esau, the so-called white man, has produced. He's going to have Noah taking 2 by 2 onto the ark. It lets you know that he's contrary to the scripture. Him and his whole nation. Give me Habakkuk 2 and 4. Go there real quick. I'm going to show you who Esau, Edom, the so-called white man is. He's contrary. Regardless if you're watching this video and you love him, you may be married to one of them. You're going to come to find out, well, you probably already know, that they can't tell the truth no matter what. They answer a question with a question. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4.
Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 4. Behold, a soul which is lifted up is not upright in him.
Is not what?
Upright in him. but the just shall live by his faith.
The just are the Israelites, so-called people of Negroid and Indian descent. We're going to live by faith, meaning these scriptures, and belief on a Mashiach Yahushua. But the so-called white man, his soul is crooked, like that old serpent. It making sense, right?
Can't.
Crooked like that old serpent. His mouth is smoother than butter. Yet war is always in his heart. He may tell you, man, I love you, man. But tomorrow he'll be back to kill you and steal all your oil, your gold, take your diamonds, your manganese. That's what he does. Right? Let's get back. Go to Psalms chapter 90 and verse 4. Psalms chapter 90 and verse 4. Talking about reality versus lies. We're talking about Noah bringing in 2 by 2 into the ark. When Genesis chapter 7 said he brought them in 7 by 2. 7 clean, 2 unclean. Read that.
Psalms chapter 90, verse 4. For 1,000 years in thy sight are but as yesterday, when it is past.
How many is 1,000 years? But as what?
Yesterday, when it is past. And as a watch in the night.
So the Most High God, through the spirit of King David, our forefather, King David said, 1,000 years is as of yesterday, meaning one day. Well, I got a secret for you. You can Google it. How long has the earth been, how long has the universe been here? Anybody know that's in school over here? I'm going to ask you first. What did they tell you at school? How long have we been living? Not us as humans, but how long has the universe existed? There's a number. How many?
Billions.
Billion. Okay. How many? You don't know. You're close. You know? You're very close. 4.5 billion. The white, and you know who comes up with this philosophy and vain deceit and teachings? The so-called white boy. So I'm gonna ask you a question, Sister Amari. In Ghana, right? Who ruled Ghana? Who colonialized Ghana? What nation? What nation of him? The English, right? So where your doctrine come from, your school doctrine? From England, right? So England teaching people over here that the world is 4.5 billion years old. Do you know how long that is? We're going to see if that's the truth. So we read on Psalms 90 and verse 4 again.
Psalms 90 verse 4. For 1,000 years in thy sight are but as yesterday, when it is past.
Come on.
And as a watch in the night.
That's it. Go. Let's get Genesis 2 verse 6 now. Genesis chapter 2 verse 6. Most High God said 1,000 days, Salakia, 1,000 years is as one day in his sight. We're going to see.
Genesis chapter 2 verse 6.
Matter of fact, start at verse 1.
Verse 1.
Salakia. Forgive me. Give me Genesis 1 verse 1. And then we're going to hop over.
Genesis chapter 1 verse 1.
Come on.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth.
What did he create first?
The heaven and the earth.
So God created the heavens and the earth. You understand? We need to know what that is. That's everything we see and what we live on. Read on.
And the earth was without form and void.
We'll stop right there. Go to Genesis 2 and 6. I'm going to come back. Genesis 2 verse 6. So we're establishing that the Most High created the heavens and the earth. Right? Read that.
Genesis chapter 2 verse 6. But there went up a mist from the earth.
Salakia. 2 and 1.
Genesis chapter 2 verse 1. That the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the 7th day.
What day?
The 7th day. Yahweh ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work which he had made.
You hear that? So God rested on the 7th day. Now we know we go to Genesis chapter 1, right? There's 7 days in creation. 6 days he did creation, right? On the 7th day, which we're reading here, he rested. So it took him 6 days. How long is a day to God? Not you. How long is a day to God?
1,000.
Speak up.
1,000.
How much? 1,000 years. Right. So a day to God is 1,000 years, not 1,000. We don't know 1,000 what. So right here, but Esau said the world has been around 4.5 billion years. But according to the Bible, it only took him 6,000 years to create everything that we see. So who we gonna believe? Matter of fact, get Acts chapter 5, verse 29. Acts chapter 5, verse 29. And then we're gonna go on. Acts 5 and verses 29.
Acts chapter 5, verse 29.
Mm-hmm.
Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey God rather than man.
Ought to obey who?
God rather than man.
Ought to obey who?
God rather than man.
Now, didn't man tell you that the world was created 4.5 billion years ago? God said a day to him is as 1,000 years, so that would be 6,000. And then he rested on the seventh day, which would be 7,000, right? Let's get another precept to back that up. Let's get another witness to back that up. Let's get 2 Peter 3, verse 8. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8.
2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8.
Y'all make sure y'all get there, write that quickly. We talking about reality versus lies. We've already been over that. There ain't no 2 by 2 going into the ark with Noah. There was 7 by 2. We establishing now, we already established that you can't have one witness. You got to have 2 or 3 witnesses to establish everything in life. And now we're going into Esau saying it's 4.5 billion years that the world has been around. Not man, because that's a different number, but the world and the universe, 4.5 billion years. Come on, man.
2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8.
Read.
But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years.
One day is with the Lord as what?
1,000 years.
No, 4.5 billion years.
1,000 years.
Come on.
And 1,000 years as one day.
You hear that? Now we ought to obey God rather than who?
Man.
So we're going to obey God, the words of this book. So that will make the total creation 7,000 years. And up until this point, it's about 13,000 years. You hear that? Up until this point, it's about 13,000 years. So when you get 4.5 billion years, it don't make sense. Not according to this Bible. That's because the righteous are not in charge, so you're going to learn from the wicked. But at home, you'll learn from the righteous, from your father, your mother, those who keep the commandments, you understand? With sincerity and truth. All right, so we understand that. Let's get, we're going to drop that. Get Joshua chapter 10 and verse 12. The book of Joshua chapter 10, verse 12. Someone out there? Check. Okay.
Joshua chapter 10, verse 12.
Hold on. All right. Read 12 and 13.
Joshua chapter 10, verse 12. Then spake Joshua to the Lord in the day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel.
Before who?
The children of Israel.
So this Bible is talking about what people?
Israel.
Israel. Read.
And he said in the sight of Israel, Son, stand thou still upon Gibeon.
Come on.
And thou, moon, in the valley of Ajalon. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies. It's not just written in the book of Joshua. So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven, and hasted not to go down about a whole day.
So right here, we're going to get into another myth. Now, when you go to school, I'm gonna start over here with you, Mike Oliver. When you go to school, they tell you that the earth revolves around the what?
Sun.
So the earth is spinning around the sun, right? They say all of the universe is spinning around the sun. Is that what they told you? Okay, so Joshua said he made the sun, he asked the Most High God of Israel to have the sun stand still. I need you to think real quick. If the sun is not still, what is it doing? If it's not still, what is it doing if it's not still? It's moving, right? Moving where? Around what? Around the earth. It doesn't make no sense. When you read the Bible, you understand that the sun is moving. When you wake up in the morning, the sun is here, right? Then you see it move over there. Then you see it move over there. You see it move all day. Then you see the moon pop up where the sun was at. Then the moon moves over there and the sun pop up in their chambers. They have chambers that they come in and out of, according to the Bible. Not according to Esau and his science and his lies. So Joshua said he made the sun stand still. But just all the academia, meaning all the schools, teach that everything evolves around the sun. That'll go into Christianity. You ever seen Caesar Borgia, aka White Jesus? He has a sun in the back of his head. On some pictures, he has a sun. It'll be a sundial in the back. You can see the sun in the back of his head. And he got his hand like Buddha. He be doing just like this. Why does he do his hand like that? You look at Buddha, he doing the same thing. Krishna, she doing the same thing. You understand? It's all pagan religions. All in, they put it all into one and put it into the Christian church. And the true Christians, we'll talk about that later. Remind me who the true Christians are, because that is another topic. But let's stay on the sun. Let's get Judges 5:31 now. Judges 5:31. We're going to talk about the sun. The sun moving around the earth. The sun is not moving around it. I'm sorry, Salaki, the earth moving around the sun. Forgive me. The earth is not moving around the sun. Do the earth rotate on its axis? Yes, the earth will rotate on its axis. But everything is evolving around the earth. God said in the beginning he created the heavens and the earth. Did he create the sun before he created the earth? We're going to figure that out in a minute. Watch this.
Judges chapter 5, verse 31.
Mm-hmm.
So let all thy enemies perish,
Come on.
O Lord. But let them that love him be as the sun.
Be as the what?
The sun, when he goeth forth in his might.
You hear that? When the sun goeth forth, meaning the sun come out of his chamber. Every morning, the sun come up. He goeth forth. Boom. Did it say the earth go forth to go around the sun? No, the sun go forth to come around the earth. Is that it?
And the land had reign 40 years.
See that? Now let's get 2 Samuel 24 and 4. 23 and 4. So 2 Samuel 23 verse 4. So let God be true and every man a liar.
Second Samuel chapter 23, verse 4.
Come on.
And he shall be as the light of the morning.
You shall be what?
As the light in the morning, when the sun riseth.
No, when the earth rises.
The sun riseth, even a morning without clouds, and the tender grass springing out of the earth by clear shining after rain.
Do you understand what's going on here? Every time you read a precept or a scripture in the Bible, right? Witnesses. They're going to say that the sun is rising or coming out of its chamber. It don't say the earth is rising or the earth is moving. But you go to school, guess what happens? You got the sun here. Why the earth is not coming out of its chamber to go around the sun? It's not happening. The sun is coming out of its chamber to go around the earth. Everything is evolving around this planet. Because we are the center of the universe, not the sun. That goes into religions. Worship of the sun. Let's keep going. Get Job 9 and 7. Job chapter 9 verse 7.
Job chapter 9 verse 7. commanded the sun, and it riseth not.
Why is the sun rising? I thought the sun ain't moving. I thought we moving around the sun. So why is the sun rising? If the sun was rising, right, and we moving around the sun, will we have to keep rising with the sun too? The earth should be going up and down like this, right? Because the sun rising, we should be going up, not around. It should be going up and down. Read on. Is that it?
And sealeth up the stars.
And sealeth up the stars. Okay. Let's get Psalms 50:1. Just gotta bang this in, man, because we've been taught a lot of lies. A whole lot of lies.
Psalms chapter 50, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
The mighty God, even the Lord,
Even the who?
the Lord, has spoken, and called the earth from the rising of the sun.
See that from the what?
The rising of the sun, unto the going down thereof.
The sun rises and goes down in its chambers, man. The earth is not rising, it's not rotating around the sun. We hearing that. I'm gonna bring out a precept in a minute. You can be like, yeah, I got it now. But let's get you know what? Yeah, let's get Second Esdras. Let's go to the Apocrypha. Second Esdras chapter 6, verse 38.
Second Esdras chapter 6, verse 38.
Hold on, hold that, Salakia. Go to Genesis now. Forgive me, go to Genesis. You keep that precept though, we're gonna go back over it. Get Genesis 1:1 again. Read Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 and 2.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, and the earth was without form.
So the earth was out what? Was out what?
Form.
Was without form.
And void. And darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters.
So we know in the beginning, right at the beginning, the earth was the first thing that was formed. The heavens meaning what was outside of it. Right? Now we're going to drop down to verse 14. This is day 4.
Verse 14. And God said, let there be light in the firmament.
Let there be what?
Light in the firmament of the heaven.
Right.
To divide the day from the night.
You hear that? There was no, what? Keep going.
And let them be for signs.
Right, talking about the stars.
And for seasons. And for days and years.
Come on.
And let them be for light in the firmament of the heaven, to give light upon the earth. And it was so.
Speaking of the stars, read on.
And God made two great lights.
Here it comes on day 4.
The greater light to rule the day.
Right, which is the sun.
And the lesser light to rule the night.
Which is the moon.
He made the stars also.
And the stars we read already.
And God set them in the firmament of the heaven, to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good.
You hear that? God saw that it was good. He created the sun and the moon on the 4th day. So how is the earth rotating around something that's not even there? Do you understand? The earth is already created, right? Now he's setting in place stars, sun, moon, all of that. How's the earth rotating? If it's rotating, why is it not rotating in darkness? It's rotating? Did he put a sun there and say rotate around this? No. The earth is the center of the universe. That's why I say in the beginning, the heavens and the earth were created, not the heavens and the sun. So 4,000 years later, he created the sun. Right? Let's go back to Genesis 1 now to show you something. Read verse 3.
Verse 3. And God said, let there be light, and there was light.
Come on.
And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness.
Come on.
And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day.
So anybody can tell me, because it said he created two great lights, the sun and the moon, on the 4th day. Well, on the first day he said let there be light. What light is that? You hear that? Because there's no sun and moon and stars. There's no sun, moon, and stars right here. So he said, let there be light. And the light separated from the dark. He called the light day. He called the darkness night. What light is this? It's not the sun or the moon, because that's 4,000 years later. So what light is this on day one? Nope, there's no sun, moon, or stars. What's that? There's no sun, moon, or stars. There's no cloud. Clouds don't give light. We have. Mina? I'm sorry. Samara? Don't worry, we're going to get the precept. Don't say it. Let's get the precept. I called it already. Get 2nd Esdras 6 and 38. 2nd Esdras chapter 6.
Chapter 6, verse 38.
It's okay. Read it. They're already there. Read it.
And I said, O Lord, thou speakest from the beginning of the creation.
See, here's another another account of creation in 2nd Esdras chapter 6. Read.
Even the first day.
Even what day?
The first day.
Come on.
And said that, let heaven and earth be made.
You hear that? Read.
And thy word was a perfect word. And then was the Spirit, and darkness and silence were on every side.
We read that in Genesis 1. The earth was formless and without void. Read.
The sound of man's voice was not yet formed.
Come on.
Then commanded thou a fair light.
What kind of light?
A fair light.
A fair light. Watch this.
To come forth of thy treasures.
To come forth how?
Of thy treasures.
Meaning from his throne. From the Most High God throne. He's commanded us light to come out so he could see the creation, what he was creating. He was like, you know how you put a puzzle together, right? You're putting it together, but you may need some light, so you turn the light on to get some light to see your puzzle. So the Most High is seeing the creation. He put light out of his throne to see what he was creating. You understand? That's the light that you read. Read on.
That thy work might appear.
You see that? That what?
That thy work might appear.
So we understand that light that's in Genesis 3, 1 and 3, is the light that's emanating from the Most High's treasure, meaning his throne. So he can see what he's doing in the creation. It only makes sense. And that's a precept upon precept. That's not Satan fighting the Mashiach Yahushua. It don't make sense. Mashiach Yahushua created Satan. Now how's he going to fight against it? It doesn't make sense. All right? Because Christ is the one who's doing the creating right here. So that myth is debunked too. All right, let's go. Let's get Ecclesiastes in the Bible, 1 and 5. Ecclesiastes 1 and 5. So everybody got that light? Michael, where that light come from? Huh? Right.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 5.
Yes. Bring it out. Bring it out. You know I can find.
The sun also ariseth.
The sun does what?
Ariseth.
Ariseth.
And the sun goeth down.
And it goes down. Read.
And hasted to his place.
Hasted to where?
His place. Where he arose.
Where he, see, the sun has a place where it comes up and it goes down. The Bible calls it chambers. The moon has a chamber where it comes up and goes down. The earth ain't coming up and going down. All these things are revolving around the planet Earth. All the planets are not revolving around the sun. The white boy does this because he worships the sun. Jesus Christ is the worship of the sun. That's why he worships on Sunday. So everything got to be sun. Sun. You understand? It's not true. Let's get Hebrews 3:11. Hebrews chapter 3 verse 11.
Hebrews chapter 3 verse 11.
Uh-huh. Did I say that? Hebrews 3:11?
Yes.
It's Habakkuk, Salakia. Forgive me, guys. I wrote it kind of fast. So Habakkuk chapter 3 verse 1. Habakkuk chapter 3 verse 1.
Habakkuk chapter 3 verse 1.
Mm-hmm. That's what I want. So I can make it 11. 3:11.
Chapter 3, verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
The sun and the moon stood still in their habitation.
In their what?
Habitation.
In their chambers.
At the light of thy arrows they went, and at the shining of thy glittering spear.
You hear that? So the Bible said the sun and the moon stood still in their habitations. Where are their habitations at? In their chambers, where they're out in space at. They have to come out and go in. The earth doesn't have a chamber. We're not going out and coming in anything. All right, let's get Wisdom of Solomon now, chapter 7, verse 17 in the Apocrypha. Wisdom of Solomon 7 and 17. And that's our last precept on the suns, the earth revolving around the sun. Wisdom of Solomon 7 and 17.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 17. For he had given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely, to know how the world was made.
So this is King Solomon, right? He's saying the Most High God gave him certain knowledge on how this world was created. Go ahead.
And the operation of the elements.
Right, the operations of the element, meaning how the earth comes together, how it creates stars, moon, flowers, dirt, water. Read.
The beginning.
The what?
The beginning, ending, and midst of the times. The alterations of the turning of the sun.
Wait, the what?
Alterations of the turning of the sun.
The alterations of the turning of the sun. How's the sun sitting in the middle and we revolving? The sun is turning consistently. Read.
And the change of seasons.
And we know we're coming with the new moon, come new seasons. Every time we get a new moon, there's a season that's coming in. Seasons of harvest, the season of planting. You see that? So the sun, let me read it myself. It says, the alterations of the turning of the sun. So that myth about everything evolving or revolving around the sun, we just debunked that. It's not true. Everything is evolving around the earth. The earth was created before the sun. That's just simply coming from Esau with his doctrines. Let me see if I can pull that real quick. 1 second. 1 second. Let's get 1 Timothy now 6 and 20. Get that real quick. Then we'll go on to the next topic. 1 Timothy 6 verse 20.
1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 20.
So the prophets right now, who are the Israelites, my forefathers, we understand this Bible. And we've been taught to not trust men. Always put our trust in our Father, Yahweh. So let's see. We keep the same thing that the apostles, the prophets, all the ones that come before us, man. We're doing the same thing they're doing in the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Read that. 1 Timothy 6 and 20.
1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 20.
Come on.
O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babbling.
Yes?
And oppositions of signs falsely so called.
Oppositions of what?
Signs falsely so called.
You know what science is? The earth is 4.5 billion years old. That's science. You know what else science? Everything evolves around the sun. That's science. We understand that according to God's word that it's not true. Let's move on. Let's go into, let's let the Bible speak. Get Exodus chapter 12, verse 2. Start at verse 1. Exodus chapter 12, verse 1.
Exodus chapter 12, verse 1.
Make sure everybody get there first. Exodus 12, verse 1.
And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months.
You hear that? This month shall be unto you the beginning of months.
It shall be the first month of the year to you.
It should be what?
The first month of the year to you.
Read on.
Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel.
Unto who?
All the congregation of Israel.
No, to the whole world.
Congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month, they shall take of them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house. And if
That's it. We're going to stop there. So he said in this month, right, shall to be the beginning of months, right? Let's see what that month was. Go to Deuteronomy 16, verse 1. Precept upon precept, line upon line. Deuteronomy 16, verse 1.
Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 1.
The book of Deuteronomy 16, verse 1.
Observe the month of Abib.
A month of what?
Abib.
Uh-huh.
And keep the Passover unto the Lord thy God.
Right.
For in the month of Abib, the Lord thy God brought thee forth out of Egypt by night.
You hear that? So the month that he has said observe, and to make this the first month of the year, is the month of Abib. What does Abib mean? Anyone? Go ahead. No. What's the meaning of Abib? You know?
Year of corn.
Ear of corn or barley. Some say spring forth. So it's in the spring. So Abib would be between the months of March and April when things begin to bloom. I know over here in Ghana everything is always hot. But in Israel, they have a cold season, meaning winter. So when spring comes around between March and April, plants and flowers and roses begin to bloom. Go ahead. So that's what the word Abib meant. To spring forth, or barley, or wheat, ear of barley, or ear of wheat. Salaka, or ear of corn. All right. Michael Oliver, what is the beginning of the year? Between March and April. So actually, our beginning of the year was last Saturday, which was April 2nd. It was April 2nd. 10 days from that, we're supposed to get a lamb, right? Which will actually be, I think, this coming Monday. Supposed to keep the lamb for 4 days, which would be 14 days, and then the Passover commences. You understand? Which the Passover is actually next Sabbath. It'll be like a double Sabbath. 16. What day is 16? Either 16 on, sweetheart? Can you see that? If it's Friday, then I'm wrong. Well, it's still a Sabbath. So it's Saturday, right? Saturday evening, right? 16. I think I knew I had that right. So it's next Saturday, 16 in the evening. So it's like a double Sabbath. You got a Sabbath already, and we'll have another Sabbath on the same sort of day. And then it's actually like a triple Sabbath because the next day is starting the Feast of Unleavened Bread. You got to understand what's going on. But it's okay. They're all Sabbath days. All right. So we understand that April 2nd was the beginning of the new year for us because we gauge our stuff off the moon, the new moon, the equinox, the spring equinox when it comes in. The first day of spring. That's how the Israelites gauge their days on. Because we're not going to have the Passover in the dead of winter. Doesn't make sense. Passover comes in spring. Okay. What is the white man's New Year? What day is it? Yes, the Gregorian calendar, the whole calendar that the world uses. What will be the New Year, the first day of the New Year? What was it? Right here. What was the first day of the white man's New Year?
1st January.
January 1st, good. Right, so let me ask you a question. What is the last month of the year for the white man? December. What does December mean?
10.
10. Deci, like a decimal point. It's 10, right? Don't you answer this. What does October mean? 8. So October in the white man's calendar is 10. It's a 10th month. But obviously, Well, 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 20, he told Timothy, avoid vain babbling in this science, oppositions of science. We're not dealing with science, we're dealing with the word of God, the word of Yahweh. So December will be the 10th month. It's impossible for it to be the beginning of the year. You understand? That's why we know the Israelites, we're on the right calendar. We keep it according to the sun, moon, and stars, which were given to us, and according to the word of Yahweh. By Hashem Yahweh Shah. All right. So what does October mean again, Mike Allah? How many is October? Octagon. How many is 8? And December is what? Right. So we understand that December is not the last month of the year. It's the 10th month. Right, between December and January. All right. Let's get Matthew 2 right now. We're going to do some reading. Matthew chapter 2. Matthew chapter 2, verse 1. Hold on a second. One second. No. Hey, you gotta hang the phone up.
She wants to change her name. So just
Let's read Matthew chapter 2, verse 1.
Matthew chapter 2, verse 1. Now when Yahushua was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east of Jerusalem, saying, where is he that is born King of the Jews?
Now you heard that. It said there came wise men. Now how many does Esau say in his movies? 3, right? Did the Bible say 3?
Yeah.
So we're going to keep reading. Read on.
For we have seen his stars in the east, and are come to worship him. Verse 3. When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him.
You know why? Because Herod was an Edomite. He was Idumean. The Herodians were white people. Right? They come out of the Greek camp. They are actually Greeks. But they work for the Romans. The same people like French, Spanish, German. A lot of people don't know that. They think Herod's a black man. Herod's a white man. The Jews were black. Read.
And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people all together, he demanded of them where Christ should be born. And they said unto him, in Bethlehem of Judea, for that it is written by the prophet, and thou Bethlehem.
But it's written by who?
The prophet.
What prophet wrote it? Somebody take a... What prophet wrote it? He's going to be written in Bethlehem of Judea. No precept over there? Micah 5 and 2. I know you've seen it. Let's keep going. Verse 6.
Verse 6. And thou Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, art not the least among the princes of Judah, for out of thee shall come a governor, that shall rule my people Israel. Then Herod, when he had privately called the wise men, inquired of them.
No, the 3 wise men.
Wise men.
The wise men. We don't even know how many it was. The Bible doesn't give a number. Read.
Inquire of them diligently what time the star appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem, and said, go and search diligently for the young child. And when ye have found him, bring me word again, that I may come and worship him also. Stop
there. So Herod was being deceitful. He know Herod is the king of the Jews, right? That's what it said. Now they're saying another king of the Jews is going to be born. Just like in America, the head of the CIA, J. Edgar Hoover, right? That's what the CIA was invented for African leaders and so-called black people never to rise. You may not believe that, but every time a black leader in Africa rise up, the so-called white man is the one who takes them out. Because he's not going to have no new Messiah rising up out of this nation. Why do you think Africa poor? The white man, the so-called Esau Edomites, are in cahoots with all the other nations to keep this people here on the bottom, to never rise. Every time you see an African rise, what happened? You can almost guarantee 2 weeks later he'll be dead. He had a heart attack or he had a brain aneurysm. That was all lies. He got killed. Because the earth is given to where? Huh?
The heart of the wicked.
Right. Meaning the so-called white boy, Job 9:24. Read on. Call the scripture.
Verse 9.
Huh.
Matthew chapter 2, verse 9. When they had heard the king, they departed, and lo, the star, which they saw in the east, went before them. So it came and stood over where the young child was.
No, where the baby was.
Young child was.
But when you see it in the TV, it'd be a little baby in a manger, right? I'm going to show you that how Esau has twisted the whole story. There's two accounts almost, but it's actually one account. There's another account in Luke, but it has nothing to do with it. We're going to read that. Totally different. This is a child right now. Child meaning 2 years old or up. He's not a little baby in a manger. Read it.
When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And when they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down.
No, the child is in a manger, right?
Mary his mother, and fell down.
Right.
And worshipped him.
See
and when
that?
they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh.
You hear that? That's where they get their 3 wise men from. Let you know they all jacked up. He gave 3 gifts. They gave 3 gifts. But they say 3 wise men. There's no such thing, man. You understand? This man is a heretic, man. He's a liar. God said anybody that add or remove away from these scriptures, they shall also be added and removed away from the kingdom of heaven. They're not coming to the kingdom of heaven. And if you're a so-called white man watching this, or a so-called white lady that's watching this, you ain't getting into the kingdom of heaven. Your end is extinction, according to Obadiah 1:18. And many other precepts. You're going to be extinct. Read on.
Verse 12.
No, start. Let's go over here. Read verse 16. So we understand the angel come to them and say, go to Egypt, right? Which we know ain't no white boy going to come over here and live amongst the Egyptians. You see a white boy out here in the streets of Ghana, he stands out like a sore thumb. You be like, damn, they go a white boy. You can see him. So how is Christ, if he a white boy, going to hide in Egypt? Egypt full of black people. Come on, man. Don't even make no sense.
Verse 16. Then Herod, when he saw that he was one of the wise men, was exceeding wroth.
Right.
And sent forth, and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem, and in all the coast thereof.
Now you hear this? What did he do though? Read on.
From 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men.
So 2 years old and under. He understood that this baby had to be up to about 2 years old. So what did he do, man? He killed all these Israelite children, man. Think about it for a minute. This man killed all the Israelite children, trying to kill Mashiach Yahushua, who the word English called Jesus Christ. Yet it's not recorded in any annals or any books outside. Why is that? Because a white man is the devil. He's not going to put this history somewhere where you can read it. Because this is his history. He's the Roman. He's the one who put Christ upon the cross with the wicked leaders of our people. But the Romans are the one that crucified Christ. The white boy, the Italians, that's who the Romans are today. The Pope, he's an Italian, right? He's a Roman. Guess what he is? He's a vicar on earth. He's a representation of Christ on earth. That's a damn lie. Christ ain't dealing with no pale-faced, pale-skinned Edomite. In Isaiah 63, coming back to put swords to him, man, period. So their lies are done. We revealing them today, the prophets of the Most High. All right, let's get Luke chapter 1 now. Read verse 1. I'm not going to read this whole thing because I just want to let you know there's two accounts. We just read an account right now, right? That Mary was with child, right? And the wise men came there. Wise men, not three wise men. Let's get Luke chapter 1 now. You can start chapter 2, so 2 verse 1.
Luke chapter 2, verse 1.
Now this is going to get deep. I need y'all to follow me real quick. Read on.
And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus,
right?
that all the world should be taxed.
Now all the world at this time was the Roman, the world of the Roman. That's how you know the word world is not talking about everybody. It's talking about the Roman world. You understand? Read.
And this person was first made when Cyrenius was governor of Syria.
Now when you Syria. Now when you go back and look at this tax, do you know when this tax? I googled it. This tax was given out. Guess what? Guess what month you think? Between March and April. This is when this tax was instituted on the Jews that had come from Jerusalem. Come to Jerusalem and pay taxes. They was doing a census. You know the Most High how he felt about counting, right? You can't count our people, or he put you to death. Because that's not what we do. King David counted it was a sin, remember? God got angry at him. He had to kill a lot of people. Because King David counted, he was counting our people. He's supposed to, that's Satan. Satan is counting Israel. Think about it. You counting us, right? Then that information, Satan is always working in the spirit. He's like, we got 12,000 Israelites right here. Kill those 12. God said the Israelites are the sand of the sea. So to do a census on us, which they always do in America, which they try to do here in Ghana lately, they try to do that with the coronavirus. Trust me. They can figure out how many people, where they had, how many shots were taken. The white boy is very tricky. He's Satan. This ain't no difference. Read on.
Verse 4. And Joseph also went up from Galilee, out of the city of Nazareth, into Judea, unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David.
Come on.
To be tasked with Mary's espoused wife, being great with child.
Being what?
Great with child.
Hold on. So this tax happened when?
In Christ.
No, what month? This tax occurred in what month? Between March, April. She's great with child. What's great with child mean? Let's take a guess.
Pregnant.
Great with child. What does it mean? Come on. Simple. She's with child, so what does that mean? She's with a child, right? She's pregnant. She's great with child. What does that mean? Come on.
She gave birth.
She's about to give birth. Come on, guys. She's great with child. Means she's about to have the child. Read on.
And so it was that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered.
That she should what?
Be delivered.
Yeah, that. Read.
And she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger.
Hold on. She laid him where?
In a manger.
That's why you know in Matthew, the account in Matthew is later. Christ, when they walked in on Mary, the child was there. Meaning he was walking like a lawyer walking. Here, the child is in a manger. She just had him, put him in a manger like a crib. Read on.
Because there was no room for them in the inn.
Come on.
And there were in the same country
wise men.
Shepherds,
read.
abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night.
Remember, in Israel in December, it is cold. It's snowing sometimes. You're not abiding in the field. You have your sheep inside the barns and the barns. That's what we call it. Now they're outside. This is not winter. This is in spring, summertime. We just read about the census. You can Google it. The history tell you the census happened between March and April. Now here we are right up now. She's had the baby. What time do you think? It's still around the same time, springtime. It's in the beginning of the year. Read.
Verse 9. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were sore afraid.
All right.
And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ our Lord, Christ the Lord.
Come on.
And this shall be a sign unto you. Ye shall find a baby wrapped in swaddling clothes.
Now remember, these are shepherds. The last one were wise men. So the shepherds found him as a newborn baby. Read.
Lying in a manger.
So the angel's telling them that. So you gotta understand, the angel said, y'all gonna go follow the star. They follow the sign. You're gonna find him wrapped in a manger as a baby. Right? Read.
Verse 13. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God.
Can you imagine how that looked? They're talking to one angel, then all of a sudden the heavens open up. They see millions of angels singing and praising God. They were scared. I'm sure they were scared. Read.
Glory to God in the highest,
Mm-hmm.
and on earth peace, and good toward men.
Right.
Goodwill toward men. And it came to pass, as the angels were gone away from them into heaven, the shepherds said one to another, Let us now go even unto Bethlehem, and see this thing which is come to pass, which the Lord hath made known unto us.
So you see the shepherds now, they're going to go and see what the angel told them. All right, come on.
And they came with haste, and found Mary, and Joseph, and the baby laying in a manger.
See, this is two different accounts. This is a baby here laying in a manger. The other account in Luke chapter 2, Christ is a child. When they walked in, the child was walking. That's basically what was going on. Read.
And when they had seen it, they made known abroad the saying which was told them concerning this child. And all they that heard it wondered at those things which were told them by the shepherds. But Mary kept all these things and pondered them in her heart. And the shepherd returned, glorifying and praising God for all the things that they had heard and seen.
So I'll stop right there. So this is a totally different account. Christ is Mashiach Yahushua is a baby, newborn. That's why in two accounts, in Luke, the account is different than in Matthew. Luke should be before Matthew. Right? Because in Matthew, Mary has already had the baby. In Luke, she's having the baby. All right. Remember I told you, Caesar Augustus. You can Google it. The census, the taxes went out around March, April. That's how you know Christ was born around this time. Because she had the baby right there. She was great with child. In that time frame. All right. Let's see here. I'm gonna stay in this. Now I'll come back to this. Let's just talk about this, okay? Y'all guys will probably already know the precepts. We have a construct that was created in slavery, or not too recently, actually 1800s, where you had people we used to call each other by our real name. You was a Syrian, you was Syrian. You was an Israelite, you was an Israelite. You were Edomite, you were Edomite. But the white boy came up with the construct of white and black, pure and evil. So he called themselves white, but they're not white. They're this color, or shade of this color. And then they called us black. We're not black. There's nobody black. This is black. I've never seen a man look like this. And if I do, I'm going to run. Because ain't no man looking like this. You understand? We different shades of brown. So let's read, not you, Sister Smart, read Genesis 25:25. So we just going to go, we know Esau like the back of our hand. But we're going to go into it. It's for the class. Genesis 25:25. Yes, you can write it. Another lie that's going to be debunked. Read it.
Genesis chapter 25, verse 25.
Go ahead.
And the first came out red.
No, came out white.
Came out red.
Go ahead.
All over like an hairy garment. And they called his name Esau. And,
Go ahead.
and after that came his brother out. And his hand took hold on Esau's heel.
Stop.
And his name was called Jacob. And Isaac